just hear me out. So what I'm saying is, I don't got $1 billion, but I can give you $100. And anybody that knows me knows I got this. I'll make your product flourish, all of that. All you gotta do is sell it. Now I know $100 and $1 billion is a little bit different, but I'm gonna get shit right. I see the look on your face. I know you want to sell it. I know you want to sell it to me because listen, I'll get some other people working and we'll get this shit right. Come on, Vince. You know you want to do it, boy. You know you do it, boy. Is Vince McMahon selling the WWE? I thought it was complete BS at first, but the more you look at it, there's actually potential that he may actually sell the WWE. Jeff Hardy recalls the night that he was arrested for a DUI, and he recalls the night before that when he called WWE for help and said that he had a problem. Bleacher Report has an awful, awful list of 3 potential feuds for Jinder Mahal. We're going to go over them and why 2 out of 3 of them are absolutely... The coronavirus has screwed anybody and everybody. But if there's one person that it's screwed more than anyone else, it seems like it's Vince McMahon. Now, we all know that the product has been suffering for many, many years. And I do not at all sympathize and do not at all agree with the people that will sit here and tell you that, oh, because of the pandemic, this is what we're getting. That is a load of giant crap. A load of giant crap, okay? The product has been awful long before this hit. Now, I don't wish for anyone to lose their job. I honestly don't wish Vince McMahon to be going through what he's going through. Now, the XFL was restarted. That had to file for bankruptcy. I didn't think it was going to last that long anyway, but they didn't even get through a full season. And again, that's not the XFL's fault so much. That's the situation and Vince McMahon having to do what's smart. And if he had to make a decision between the XFL and WWE, you best believe the XFL is hitting the streets, okay? Now, one of the things I want to talk about in this video, besides a couple of this, there's 3 topics to talk about. And the biggest one is Vince McMahon selling WWE? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, when I first saw this rumor, it was actually tweeted out by Zeb Coulter. For those of you that don't know him, he used to work as a manager in WWE, and he used to work under Jack Swagger, Cesaro, and a bunch of other guys. He was an advocate for We the People, an older guy with a curly mustache. Most of you watching this video that have been watching the product for a while, you know exactly who he is. He tweeted out, and I have it written here, he stated that Vince is in discussion with ESPN and Fox to potentially sell the WWE, and he asked, is there any truth to this? When I first saw that tweet, I immediately kept scrolling because I didn't think that there was any truth to it. I don't see Vince McMahon selling WWE. But the more you think about it, and the more you think about the dire situations and all the things that could come of it, Vince McMahon selling the WWE, honestly, I don't think is bad. I think it would be a very unfortunate way to go out. But again, I think Vince is going to do every last thing that he can, and I'm sure that he's consoling to dozens and dozens and dozens of people before he would make a decision like that. Personally, I think when it's all said and done, he's not going to sell WWE. He did tweet that out. He said that he had overheard that there was an employee that had leaked some information that there's been a huge discussion about the product actually being sold. And I want to put my glasses on here. Let's see. To ESPN or Fox. Now, ESPN, or not ESPN, WWE already has a deal with Fox, but their deal with Fox is for SmackDown only. And I don't know how many years it's for, but their deal that they have already is already with Fox. Okay? And that deal is to air SmackDown on its programming for X amount of time. Again, I don't know the deal. I probably should have looked that up before I did this video. The first idea, or the first thing that popped up a while ago, was WWE trying to sell their WWE Network rights to ESPN. Now, from a fan standpoint, that is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate, because we don't want to see that. Because if you recall, and here's why you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that because I remember being a 12-year-old kid begging my parents to order a pay-per-view that was $45 a month. Now, granted, the pay-per-views back then were a little bit better. They weren't as bad as they are now. And to be honest with you, the type of pay-per-views we get nowadays, I don't think they're worth $40. They're barely worth $10, okay? The WWE Network was one of the best things that WWE has ever done. And that will always be my opinion, and I'm always going to stick to that. I think that when they did the WWE Network, it was a gold mine. It was a gold mine. Now, it honestly does surprise me a little bit that there aren't as many subscribers as I originally would have thought for WWE Network. I believe they say they have 1.9 million. I would have thought there would have been a little bit more than that. But you got to figure that a lot of people that are watching these pay-per-views, okay, and I'm going to say this straight up. Any pay-per-view that is being streamed, you can watch online for free. It all comes down to how much research and how much digging are you willing to do to watch that pay-per-view. Any UFC fight, any boxing match, any wrestling pay-per-view, you can all get that for free. Now, granted, it might not be in the best quality, but it's for free. Now, for me, the WWE Network was a no-brainer, and here's why. You get every single pay-per-view for just $10 a month, as opposed to $40 per pop. The amount of money that you save with the network, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And not only that, the seller, or where they sold me the most part, was that you can go back and watch every single episode of Raw and SmackDown that has ever existed. You can watch every pay-per-view that has ever existed in order, however you like, no commercials, in the quality that it was presented at during the time period. And that is what I've started to do. I've started to go through the entire Attitude Era. I am on spring of 2000, because again, you hear about these superstars, but you have to live through it. And it was, I think the Attitude Era was an awesome time, and I can't wait to get the Ruthless Aggression Era, because towards the tail end of that era is when I started watching wrestling. But again, we'll get to that in a minute. The first idea was to sell the rights to the network, and that, from a fan standpoint, is terrible. We don't want to see that, because then that means that we're most likely going to have to be ordering it or having ESPN Plus with it. Well, you would have to have ESPN Plus and pay, I'm sure it wouldn't be $40 anymore. It would probably be $60 ballpark range for every pay-per-view. And if that is the case, I will gladly find a link online, because I'm not paying $60 for every pay-per-view. Even though that when you do order it from a pay-per-view provider, the quality is very, very good. I used to order a lot of pay-per-views back when they were prior to the WWE Network. But the WWE Network, even though it was glitchy and buggy as hell at first, it was one of the best things I think they ever did. Like having access to a whole library of things from past, present, and future. Even documentaries, and one of the things that I love about the network too is the WWE 24s. I think those are absolutely fantastic. Those are some of the best things they have to offer. It's a backstage look behind the lives of superstars and certain events and just different things. Those are absolutely phenomenal, and there's so many of them that I haven't seen yet that I want to go back and watch. But the WWE Network was a goldmine for me, and I am kind of surprised. I think a lot of it is due to the fact that people don't like the television they see, and they also don't. People are just stingy. They don't want to have an additional $10 a month on their card for something like that. But for me, it's a must-have. But they were thinking of selling those rights to ESPN, and that would profit them money, but it would not give them control so much. Well, it would give them control of their pay-per-views, but where they aired. And from a standpoint, WWE would make a lot more money from their pay-per-view buys. But I think that it wouldn't be a good idea. Maybe not from a WWE standpoint, but from a fan standpoint, that's not something I want to see to happen, because we know exactly how ESPN is. They will get the product, and boom, all of a sudden, dollar signs, dollar signs, dollar signs. At that point, I would probably still keep my network subscription, just based on the fact of the library of the past and all the documentaries. But the pay-per-views, I think, is what sells most people. I honestly don't think a lot of people watch those documentaries, and that's a shame, because some of them are really hidden gems. But I don't think a lot of people watch those different type of documentaries. But if there's any type of documentary and you're one of those people that are on the edge of getting the network, it's something you got to do. And the WWE 24s, you do want to see those. The Broken Skull sessions are the podcasts with Stone Cold. Obviously, they're not as edgy as the ones you would hear online, because it's being aired on WWE television. But if you want to hear, like, again, I'm getting off topic here, but if you want to hear podcasts like that, listen to Talk is Jericho, his podcast. Cole Cabana does a good podcast, and guys like that. That was their first idea, but now, in the situation he's in, that it is potential that Vince McMahon may actually sell the WWE product. That is one of those things where it is like, well, there are so many ways this can go right and so many ways that this can go wrong. The product is going to suck for many, many more years. And there's nothing that anybody can tell Vince McMahon that he hasn't been told already, okay? It's just not good. It's just not good. There's no creativity, there's no storylines, there's no building, there's no character investment. All of those things do not exist, okay? Meanwhile, here's Triple H on a developmental brand, doing everything right, booking shows, they're creative, everything flows on NXT. And he wants to blow a gasket. And we know that he will never say something like that because it's in such a high position. But I feel like if he had a conversation with Vince McMahon that he really wanted to have, that it would not go smoothly for either parties. Because Triple H is sitting here in the wings, and he knows that he can change all of this crap if he was given that platform to do so. And we know he could. That's the only guy I would have faith that's in the company right now that can genuinely make a change to this product. Because everybody else is just following, is just riding the tails of Vince McMahon. Are they going to sell WWE? I don't really know. I mean, I feel like this is one of those videos where I can go on 30 minutes on this topic alone, but I have to keep in mind there's also 2 other topics on here that I have to discuss. And, you know, I've tried to keep my videos within the 10 to 30 minute mark just in the beginning. Now, again, as I'm starting to build this audience, I'm going to try to expand those out to be longer. But for right now, that is what I'm doing with. I'm going to keep you updated on this. Vince McMahon is not giving an answer, but we're just hearing the rumors everywhere, and that's really all it is right now. Rumors. We're hearing a lot about ESPN, Fox, and Disney. That would provide a massive change for the company, and I don't know if it would be from a creative standpoint, because you have to think about it as all of these people, you know, who's going to be in charge? What does Triple H do? It's just, you know, it's one of those things where it's really interesting, and you would have to see where it would potentially go. But that's where all I got for that. Is Vince McMahon selling the WWE? I don't think so. I think when I put my fist down on this, I'm going to say that I don't think he's going to sell it. I don't see it happening. It's possible. It is possible, folks. The coronavirus has showed us that the impossible is now possible. But I don't really see it. Topic 2 of 3 over here. Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy has been shown a lot of vignettes on SmackDown. We've seen a lot of Jeff Hardy building this storyline of all of his demons. Any of you that know Jeff Hardy, just from a character standpoint, a wrestling standpoint, we have known that he has conquered a lot of demons throughout his life. Jeff Hardy has been through hell and back, DUIs, arrests, drug overdoses, just the crazy things. And I feel like when he looks at it, he's one of those guys where he's lucky to be alive, to be honest. Jeff Hardy is one of those people where I feel like he lives his character in real life. That is kind of how I feel about Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy opened up on the After the Bell podcast with Corey Graves. Corey Graves, we all know who Corey Graves is. You can say what you want about him. I had to start listening to this podcast because I feel like there's a lot of information that comes out on this podcast. He stated that the night before his DUI arrest on October 3rd, 2019, he asked WWE for help. Right before his DUI arrest, he said, this alcohol thing is killing me and I need help. I need help. He opened up on the After Bell podcast, like I said, with Corey Graves, and he said that he needed help. He also states, and there's a quote here as well, there's something powerful about when you can own up to your problems. Abso-friggin-lutely. Abso-friggin-lutely. We don't know how WWE went about this, but, you know, the first step to anybody that deals with addiction is admitting they have a problem. That right there is 60% of the battle. 60% of it. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a rehab drug counselor. You know, I don't know the process of how it works, but I can tell you that that is half the battle right there when you admit you have the problem. So for him to come out and say that Jeff Hardy said that he can come out and he said that he had this problem, and he also stated there's something powerful about when you can own up to your own problems, that speaks volumes right there. That speaks volumes right there. Anybody that can own up to any type of problem they have, whether it's in life or outside of life, it speaks volumes on another platform. And for Jeff Hardy to come out and say he had problems, we knew he had problems. Now, a lot of us didn't know him personally, but we knew Jeff Hardy had a shit ton of problems. The fact that he can come out and state that, and he said that it changed his life and rehab was a positive influence, is absolutely phenomenal. Again, we like to crap on wrestlers a lot here. We all do it. We all say that they shouldn't be this, they shouldn't be that. But if there's one thing that at least I can agree on, it's that I love to see people overcome adversity and obstacles in any platform of life. So for Jeff Hardy to own up to his problems, and he's apparently getting his re-debut package next week on SmackDown, it is an awesome thing. He also stated that he wants his last match to be against Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar, and I've said this about Brock Lesnar, he's one of those guys where I feel like he comes off as a dick, but for the people that know him and the people that he respects, I feel like he's a very good guy. I feel like he's a very good guy. There's a mutual respect that a lot of people have for Brock Lesnar, and I didn't realize it at first, because when he came back and just was winning this Universal Championship and just ruining the Universal Championship, and I'm just, what is going on here? What is going on here? But in the last couple of years, Lesnar has looked really good in the ring, and he's actually put some people over. So that's one of the things that I think is important that people respect about Brock Lesnar. You know, I feel like he does have that aesthetic to him where he comes off as a dick, but I don't think that he genuinely means it. Jeff Hardy, Brock Lesnar. that would be Jeff Hardy's last match because he would not be able to breathe afterwards. Jeff Hardy would not win that match. But regardless, I'm going to get to this on Jeff Hardy. They are stating that they want Jeff Hardy to be... They're repackaging him in this brilliant package. And they're having him talk about all these struggles and adversities. So I'm expecting that when Jeff Hardy comes back on SmackDown, the logical thing to do would be give him some type of push. I don't see this being a Jeff Hardy that's going to lay down and have someone count the 3 on top of him. I feel like that this is Jeff Hardy's last run. He stated that specifically himself. That this run right here for Jeff Hardy is going to be a good one. I'm not saying he's going to be champion because there was rumors about Jeff Hardy winning the Universal title. Okay? But this run for Jeff Hardy is going to be, should be a good one. Should be a good one, however long it lasts. Is it going to result in him having gold? I don't really know about that. To be honest with you, I would have had him win the Universal title if they were choosing between Jeff Hardy and Braun Strowman at WrestleMania. For some reason, they chose Braun Strowman. For some reason, they chose Braun Strowman. And he's going to lose the title. He's going to lose the title next Sunday at Money in the Bank. Watch it happen. Watch it happen. Because you know it's going to happen. It's coming. It's coming. He's losing the title, okay? Braun Strowman will be a transitional champion, and he will go back to being a loser on WWE television. Bray Wyatt will win it right back. Now, the problem is that you have this hot Bray Wyatt character. The problem is that you can't have Bray Wyatt and Jeff Hardy feud. Well, you could, but it couldn't. I don't think it should result in Jeff Hardy winning the gold. I feel like if you gave this title to Strowman or you never gave it to Wyatt, you could have Jeff Hardy win the Universal title, but then you could also have him win a mid-card title. United States title, I don't think that's going to be a feud. Well, the United States title's on Raw, but the Intercontinental title is up for grabs, isn't it? Sami Zayn hasn't been on television, you know. I think that a Intercontinental title should be in the works for Jeff Hardy. Some kind of gold. Jeff Hardy needs some kind of gold. And please, I do not want to see any type of tag team gold. We know it won't be tag team gold because Matt Hardy's out. Jeff Hardy will not. If they put Jeff Hardy in the tag team division, you might as well just drink bleach. That is that. Interesting to see what they do with Jeff Hardy. And the last topic. This one makes me nauseous. This one makes me nauseous. Jinder Mahal. Bleacher Report makes an awful list of potential feuds for Jinder Mahal going forward. 3 of them that could result at SummerSlam. 2 out of 3 of these are absolutely sickening. Let's talk about the good feud out of this. Aleister Black. Now, if they want to warm Jinder Mahal up to the mid-card, and they want to have Aleister Black be this kind of guy where he is kind of just in a feud with Mahal, you can't have Mahal get over on that feud. Because, to be honest, I don't think Mahal belongs near any championship, honestly. The United States Championship, I think Jinder Mahal would have awful chemistry with anybody in the United States title chase right now. The Intercontinental Championship, not relevant. What scares me is the other person. I wouldn't mind a feud with Aleister Black, but what is going to be the end result? You know what I mean? And I do not want Aleister Black to lose to Jinder Mahal. Please, please, please spare me. Spare me. Drew McIntyre. It's coming. It's coming. And it's going to happen. And the worst part about it is there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. All of these rumors about Jinder and Drew, we know how, Vince probably wants Jinder right back in the main event scene, and this is absolutely horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. There's a story there between them being in 3MB, but Jinder Mahal is not even on the level below Drew McIntyre. So I don't even understand why you would have this. Okay? You just gave Drew the title. I swear to God, and I'm telling you, I see it happening. I see Drew McIntyre dropping the title to Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam, and I'm very scared about it. I'm very scared about it. Jinder Mahal does not rub off as a champion to me. I'm sorry. Not a main level champion. You want to give him a mid-card title? Go for it. The feud with Drew McIntyre feels inevitable, but I'm very scared that it's going to be a reality, and I'm very scared that they're going to have Drew lose to him. That is what I'm scared of. It's coming. I'm telling you right now, the Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre feud is inevitable, and it's coming. So if you are these people that are hoping that it doesn't go that route, I'm so sorry. And the last one is just laughable. The last one is just laughable. Brock Lesnar. Jinder Mahal doesn't even belong in the same room as Brock Lesnar. So I don't even want to hear Brock Lesnar. Don't. That's insulting. That's insulting. Some of these sites, when they do these certain things, they're just so biased, and they're just so, like, I almost feel like WWE's paying them under the table to write some of this stuff, because this is just ridiculous. Brock Lesnar should annihilate the living hell out of Jinder Mahal, okay? It's ridiculous. The match was supposed to happen apparently at Survivor Series 3 years ago, but AJ Styles won the title, and it forced a much better match with AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar. That was very good, by the way. Keep Jinder Mahal away from, you want to keep an Aleister Black? Go ahead. But Aleister Black is starting to push this momentum, so you can't cock block Aleister Black's momentum with Jinder Mahal, because we know Jinder Mahal is going to be built like a friggin' temple god, okay? So it's like, I don't really know what they do. But I fear the worst, and I expect the worst when I'm watching WWE product. So I'm going to say that they're going to feud it with Drew. As long as they don't rush it. Honestly, it's inevitable. So we might as well just sit back and sip the tea, because there's nothing we can do about it. And it's going to happen. It is going to happen. Oh, it is such a nice day outside, ladies and gentlemen, but the park is crowded. The park is crowded. So what we're going to do here is we're going to call this a video right here. I appreciate everybody watching, as always. To all of you that are coming over from ads or promotions, I urge you to subscribe. I will give it to you like nobody else will. That is what she said. I appreciate everybody watching, as always. Stay safe.